Good morning, beloved. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is that you are watching the broadcast. Hello, 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 hello. It is wonderful connecting with you, saying hi, hello, how do you do? What is happening with you? Blessings, 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 and more blessings unto you. Um, for those who will be live, yes, 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 let's do it. For those who will hashtag and replay it, I love it. For those who will be on it, I don't know you on, and I might not never know you on. I could appreciate that. And then for those of you who will be used by Papa at some point down the road, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And okay. All right, all right, all right. Hey, Virginia from Virginia. How are you, my sister? How are you? It's good to see you this morning. So, today we are talking about this notion of um this notion of 206 um what do I want to say? We're talking about this notion of change, right? And looking to see if we are comfortable or not with change, and knowing that, right, and knowing that we have to be like, well, let me just say, we have to be comfortable enough to not be disrupted. Oh, well, thank you, you too, you too. We have to be comfortable enough to not be disrupted. Meaning, what I'm saying is, like, because change is inevitable. And if change is a disruption to us, right, every time it's a disruption to us, then we're going to find ourselves increasingly out of sorts, increasingly unable to, like, get it together, to keep it together, to all those things. And so, it's so important that we find ourselves in good places. 206. Um, it's so important that we find ourselves in good places, because if we're not, um, then the challenge is that um we're gonna always be out of sorts, right? Um, because what's the alternative? You see, there's no real alternative here. Um, because we don't get to determine what change looks like. We don't. Change is inevitable, and we don't get to determine the change, because it just is a part of life. So, what's paramount is that we expect and anticipate that there will be change. There's going to be something that will not be, um, there's going to be something that will not be the same at some point, always. Hey, cousin, happy Tuesday. Love you right back. There will be something that will not be the same always. That's a part of this thing called life, right? Something will always consistently, continually be different. And, sometimes we really like the status quo. We're really comfortable with the status quo. We really have an appreciation and affinity towards the status quo. Sometimes we do. And then there's life, which will change the status quo, right? And then there's life that will make adjustments to the status quo. And so then with that, comes the right. So then with that comes the how do I want to say it? Yeah. So then with that comes the changes that comes with that. Right? It comes the changes that comes with that. So we have to be okay with change. We have to be okay with change because change is inevitable. It's a coming, y'all. It's a coming. It is coming. And sometimes it is disruptive. Right? Sometimes it is disruptive and sometimes it's disconcerting. Sometimes it is really difficult to wrap our mind around the things no longer being the same. Right? Sometimes it's really difficult in getting that to be the case and making it so. And so, we can stay in a place of discomfort or we can, let ourselves know it's okay. It's okay. Right? It's quite okay. We can figure it out. Right? We can do that. We can figure out how to make it be okay. Even if it just means that, good morning, Erica. Hey, honey bun. Even if it just means that we just familiarize ourselves with the new territory, right? Even if it means that we are familiarizing ourselves with the new territory, right? We can make it be that. We can make it be that. And so I love the idea of just growth and expansion and increasing and becoming and knowing that we are and can be what it is that we desire to be, right? That we are and can be what it is, how it is that we desire to be, because it's within our capacity to be, right? It's within our knowing, it's within our belonging, it's within our anchoring. We get to decide how we're going to take this ride. We can either take the ride in fear or we can take it in love, right? We can either take it in fear or we can take it in love. We get to decide what that looks like for us, fear or love. And fear is looking back from a place of shoulda, coulda, woulda, if only, why didn't I was supposed to have, like that kind of thing. That's fear. That's fear-based. But love-based is a knowing, right? A knowing of a particular thing that is ours to have, that is ours to be, a knowing that all things work together, right? That things are always working out for us, that we've got everything we need, right? And that solutions and answers are right here available for us. Always, always. Even if the thing we're looking at, right, is a kind of change that decreases our discomfort, our responsibility in order to maximize whatever this time, this season, this experience is to increase our comfort with change. There will always be some level of discomfort, right? There will always be some level, but we have to make sure that we're not so uncomfortable with change that we're disrupted every time change happens, because as we know, change will happen. It will happen. So we have to make sure that we have a sufficient enough uh, level of comfort with change that we can stay in the game, that we can keep processing, that we can keep moving, that we can keep extending, we can keep becoming, so that we're not so disrupted with this thing called change, right? So that we're not always at a place of disruption. So, part of it is not to be surprised by it, right? Part of it is just simply not be surprised by change, because it's coming all the time. The seasons change, we change. If you think about just what happens in 6 months from a baby being born, that change is so, or just from from being pregnant to delivery, that change, right? So the change, I think about the relationship I share with my husband. We've been together since ninth grade, my ninth grade, his 11th. Good morning, Ray Price. Good morning. Thank you for your prayers. And we changed so much. I was 15, he was 17. Yeah. We changed so tremendously. Right. All right, y'all. So I'm inviting us to increase our comfort with change, increase our comfort, because otherwise we will be too disrupted sufficiently enough that we may not be able to be efficient in whatever it is that we are wanting and or needing to do. All right, beloved, I love you. I appreciate you. I value you. And at the moment that Abba gave us our breath, me and you, we forfeited, we relinquished, you and I, we gave up the right to not be amazing. All right, I love you. Have a good time. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.